Resistance builds structure. Resistance builds structure. Effort is never wasted, every rep has meaning.
Weight introduces honesty, no ego enters the set. Form governs movement, strength answers accurately. Control remains absolute. Inhale calculated, exhale controlled. Heart rate accelerates efficiently, no panic appears. Each repetition mirrors intent. Tempo stays deliberate, range remains complete. Precision compounds, strength mistakes are eliminated. Hands transmit force, wrist stabilize instantly. Arms act as conduits, energy travels clean.
Pressure makes power, consistency builds endurance. Endurance builds dominance, nothing is accidental.
Set stack methodically, sweat confirms engagement. Fatigue distributes evenly, form never collapses. Body signals resistance, the signal is registered. Emotion is excluded, execution continues unchanged. Movement synchronizes with breath, timing sharpens naturally. Thought dissolves, only execution remains. Stands refined slightly, grip tightens subtly. Efficiency increases quietly, system optimization complete.
Pressure makes power, consistency builds endurance. Endurance was dominance, my comfort was accidental.
Resistance increases deliberately, alignment remains strict. Core stabilizes instantly, control overrides mass. Deep inhale, brief hold, measured release. Focus recalibrated. Burn becomes familiar, not threatening, not overwhelming. Information only used constructively. Discipline migrates outward, stress elsewhere weakens. Confidence solidifies silently, clarity sharpens daily. Stopping remains possible, continuing is chosen. Identity reinforces self through repetition.
Pressure makes power, character forms under load. Strength is learned behavior, repeated, a man was free.
Breath remains firm, breath sustains written it. Friction stabilizes technique, ground remains sensation. Bam, hail, Benny, exhale, measured. Movement precise,
Order sustaining.
deep inhale, brief hold, measured release. Focus recalibrated. Burn becomes familiar, not threatening, not overwhelming. Information only used constructively. Discipline migrates outward, stress elsewhere weakens. Confidence solidifies silently, clarity sharpens daily.
Stop remains possible, continuing is chosen. Identity reinforces itself through repetition. Pressure makes power, character forms under load. Strength is learned behavior, repeated relentlessly.
Grip remains firm, breath stays rhythmic.
Fatigue stabilizes, technique dominates sensation.
Inhale, steady, exhale, measured. Movement precise,
Order sustained.
speed adjusts intentionally. Accuracy increases, completion is irrelevant. Execution defines success. The room remains static, equipment are moving. Only the system evolves, progress embeds quietment. Feet confirm placement, hands secure grip. Breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminated. Pressure makes power, effort becomes structure.
Station.
Strength sustains identity.
Last repetition. Remain strict. Range uncompromised, no collapse permitted. Control finishes everything.
Weight returns to rest. Hands open slowly, breathing normalizes.
No celebration required. The space looks unchanged. The system does not. Strength installed silently. Discipline reinforced. Ready again. Pressure made power. Session complete. From effort. No shortcut to pressure. The work demands presence, and presence demands repetition.
Hands close around resistance. Grip tightens with intention. The weight responds honestly. No negotiation offered, only execution accepted.
Inhale before commitment, exhale through exertion. Breath stabilizes motion, motion reinforces control.
Every repetition mirrors the last. Tempo stays uncompromised. Range remains complete. Momentum stays excluded. Form dictates authority.
Knees track, clean lines, hips transfer power efficiently. Core remains uninterrupted. Stability dominates sensation.
There is no exit from effort. Fatigue becomes instruction. Instruction sharpens output. Output defines progress. Sets accumulate quietly. Sweat marks consistency. Muscles share responsibility. No single point collapses. The system holds. Burn communicates limits. Tension provides feedback. Neither demands surrender. Both demand adjustment.
Movement and breath synchronized. Thought recedes in the background. Instant guides. Time and execution continues uninterrupted. Grip pressure recalibrates. Foot placement refined subtly. Energy lost disappears. Efficiency replaces strain.
There is no exit from effort. Efficiency extends endurance. Endurance stabilizes strength. Strength sustains performance.
Resistance escalates deliberately. Posture remains unchanged. Stabilizes engaged. Instantly control outpaces mass.
Inhale slow and deep. Brief internal pause. Exhale with resolve. System recalibrated. Muscle signal depletion. Signals acknowledged calmly. No panic introduced. Movement continues under discipline. Discomfort becomes familiar. Tolerance expands quietly. Confidence stabilizes inward. Focus sharpens further.
Stable remains possible. Continuation is chosen. Identity reinforces self through action alone.
There is no exit from effort. Consistency builds authority. Authority builds capacity. Capacity defines outcome.
Grip integrity sustained. Breathing rhythm preserved. Fatigue plateaus evenly. Technique overrides sensation. Inhale measured. Exhale controlled. Motion exact order preserved. Speed adjusts intentionally. Accuracy remains dominant. Completion is secondary. Execution remains primary.
Walls stay unmoved. Equipment remains still. Only the system evolves. Progress embeds unseen. Feet confirm position. Hands secure contact. Breath locks rhythm. Deviation eliminated. There is no exit from effort. Work shapes structure. Structure sustains force. Force confirms readiness.
Last repetitions remain strict. Range uncompromised, no collapse permitted. Control concludes the sequence.
Weight returns to rest. Hands open slowly, breathing normalizes. No celebration required. The room appears unchanged. The system is not. Capacity expanded. Silently. Dissip. Pressure into power. Low becomes language. The body understands. Force and answers correctly. Hands meet resistance. Grip confirms intention. Muscles activate sequentially. No wasted movement appears. Inhale through control. Exhale through effort. Heart rate climbs predictably. System remains stable. Each repetition is identical. Speed remains deliberate. Range remains complete. Form does not negotiate. Knees track with precision. Hips maintain alignment. Core resistance, stability, balance is enforced. Pressure into power, consistency compounds. Output confirms preparation. Preparation defines outcome. Set stack methodically, sweat indicates engagement. Fatigue distributes evenly, no single point fails. Burn is not emotion. Pain
pain is not narrative. Signals a process calmly, adjustment replaces reaction. Movement synchronizes with breath, timing becomes instinctive. Thought dissolves, execution continues uninterrupted. Grip tightens subtly, foot angle refines slightly. Efficiency increases quietly, waste disappears.
Pressure into power, resistance shapes efficiency. Efficiency shapes endurance, endurance shapes strength.
Resistance increases deliberately, stabilizers respond instantly. Posture remains unchanged, control dominates mass. Deep inhale, slow release, system recalibrated. Muscle signal depletion, the signal is acknowledged, not feared, not dramatized. Movement continues, discipline transfers outward. Stress tolerance increases, confidence stabilizes. Clarity sharpens across domains, stopping remains available. Continuation is selected, identity reinforces itself through action.
Pressure into power, resistance shapes efficiency. Efficiency shapes endurance, endurance shapes strength.
Resistance increases deliberately, stabilizes, respond instantly. Posture remains unchanged, control dominates mass. Deep inhale, brief pause, slow release, system recalibrated. Muscle signal depletion, the signal is acknowledged, not feared, not dramatized. Movement continues.
Discipline transfers outward, word stress tolerance increases, confidence stabilizes, clarity sharpens across domains.
Stopping remains available, continuation is selected. Entity reinforce itself through action. Pressure into power, strength is trained behavior. Behavior becomes habit, habit becomes structure. Grip integrity maintained, breathing rhythm preserved. Fatigue plateaus, technique dominant sensation. Inhale measured, exhale controlled, dominant precise. Order sustain, speed adjusts intentionally. Accuracy improves, completion is secondary. Execution defines success. The room remains unchanged, equipment stays silent. Only the system evolves, progress embeds invisibly. Feet confirm placement, hand secure grip, breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminate. Pressure into power, effort becomes to be texture. Architecture supports strength, strength sustains identity. Last repetitions remain strict, range uncompromised, no collapse permitted. Control concludes everything. Weight turns to rest, hands open slowly. Breathing normalizes, no celebrates required. The space appears identical. The system does not capacity expanded quietly. Discipline reinforced, ready for repetition.
Pressure into power session completed.
Feet connect to the surface. Balance distributes evenly. Core tightens instinctively. Posture corrects itself. Stability becomes automatic, the base is secured. External distractions dissolve. Focus sharpens inward. Breathing aligns with intent. Every action gains clarity, nothing exists except execution. Inhale power. Exhale doubt. Pressure creates structure. Structure creates strength. Resistance introduces honesty. Muscle answers truthfully. Form overrides ego. Momentum is denied entry. Control becomes law. Precision takes priority. Short inhale, measured exhale. Heart rate climbs predictably. No panic response, only regulation. Each repetition builds order. Range remains complete. Tempo stays intentional, no shortcuts accepted. Consistency compounds quietly. Grip tightens deliberately. Vision stays steady. Jaw relaxed, energy conserved, waste eliminated. Inhale power, exhale doubt. Consistency builds strength. Inhale power. Exhale doubt. Consistency builds strength. Strength builds confidence. Sets accumulate patiently. Sweat confirms progress. Fatigue spreads evenly. Form remains untouched. Standards do not bend. Fatigue sends information. The mind acknowledges briefly, then overrides calmly. Command replaces sensation. Execution remains exact.
Motion becomes efficient, breathing synchronizes naturally. Signals travel instantly, thought dissolves into action. The system operates cleanly, stance refined subtly. Grip recalibrates, efficiency increases. Energy loss disappears, precision restored. Inhale power, exhale doubt. Consistency build, not accidental. Weight increases methodically. Alignment stay precise, spine remains neutral. Control dominates force, standards remain absolute. Deep inhale, brief hold, controlled exhale. Heart rate stabilizes, focus resets instantly. Silence thickens, awareness sharpens, discomfort becomes familiar. Never overwhelming, always manageable.
This strength leaves the room, it enters daily resistance. Pressure feels lighter, decisions become sharper. Stress meets structure, stopping is available. Continuing is chosen, identity forms here, one repetition at a time.
Inhale power, exhale doubt. Terracted instant pressure.
Grip remains secure, breathing stays when fatigue distributes evenly. Technique remains intact, conditioning proves itself.
Inhale steady, exhale control. Movement remains clean, order defeats chaos. Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy increases. Completion is secondary, execution defines success. Standards never fall, walls remain unchanged. Equipment stays silent, only internal systems evolve. Progress embeds quieted without witnesses. Feet confirm placement, hand secure grip. Breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminated. Final phase engaged. Inhale power, exhale doubt. Effort builds structure, structure sustains strength.
Last repetition stays straight, range remains complete. No collapse allowed, no rush permitted. Control finishes the task.
Weight returns to rest, hands open slowly.
Breathing normalizes, no celebrate required.
Completion stays internal.
Inhale power. Inhale power. Noise disappears, doubt fades out.
Attention narrows sharply, only execution remains. Everything else is irrelevant.
No excuse, no delay. Pressure builds strength, strength builds resolve. Strength builds resolve.
Resistance enters honestly, muscle answers clearly. No ego allowed, if form dictates movement. Control overrides impulse. Discipline leads, inhale through effort, exhale to control. Heart rate rises predictably, no panic, only order. Each repetition is identical, range stays complete, tempo stays clean. Shortcuts are rejected, consistency compounds power. Grip tightens intentionally, vision stays fixed. Jaw relax, energy preserve, waste eliminated.
No excuse, no excuse, no delay, no delay.
Structure creates force, force creates certainty. Set stack methodically, sweat confirms work. Fatigue distributes evenly, technique remains untouched. Standards never bend. Fatigue speaks clearly, the mind listens briefly, then decides calmly. Command overrides sensation. Execution continues. Movement becomes efficient, breathing synchronizes, signals travel instantly. Thought dissolves into motion, the system runs clean. Stance adjusts slightly, grip refines, efficiency increases. Energy loss removed, precision restored.
No excuse, no excuse, no delay, no delay.
Strength is engineered, not accidental. Weight rises gradually, alignment remained exact. Spine stays neutral, control dominates mass. Standards remain absolute. Deep inhale, brief hold, controlled exhale. Heart rate stabilizes, focus resets immediately. Silence thickens, awareness sharpens. Discomfort normalizes, never overwhelming. Always manageable. This discipline exits the room, it enters daily resistance. Pressure feels lighter, decision sharpened. Stress meets structure. Stopping is available, continuing is chosen. Identity forms here, one repetition deeper. No excuse, no excuse, no delay, no delay. Character is built under sustained pressure. Grip remains secure, breathing remains, fatigue spreads evenly. Technique stays locked, conditioning prove itself. Inhale, steady, exhale, controlled. Movement remains clean. Order defeats chaos, speed adjusts intentionally. Accuracy increases, completion is secondary. Execution defines success, standards never fall. Walls stay unchanged, equipment stays silent. Only internal systems evolve. Progress embeds quietly. Without witnesses, without witnesses, without witnesses. Feet confirm placement, hand secure grip. Breath locks, rhythm deviation removed. Final phase engaged. No excuse, no excuse, no delay, no delay. Effort creates structure, structure sustains power. No exhausts. Last repetition stays strict, range remains full. No collapse allowed, no rush permitted. Control finishes everything, weight turns to rest. Hands open slowly, breathing normalizes. No celebration, quieter completion stays internal. The room looks identical, the body does not. Strength installed, quieted, discipline reinforced. The engine remains ready. No excuse, no excuse, no delay, no delay. Session complete. Build resolve.
Core tightens without tension, spine stacks correctly. Structure establishes dominance, foundation locked.
Distractions fall away, vision sharp and sound fades. Only movement remains, only purpose survives.
No excuse, no retreat. Pressure forges strength. Strength reinforces will. Weight introduces truth. No negotiation, muscle responds honestly. Form remains uncompromised, control dictates every inch. Respect the process, inhale to resist, exhale to completion. Heart rate climbs in order, no panic, only regulation. Each repetition mirrors the last, step remains consistent. Temp remains deliberate, momentum rejected, precision rewarded. Hands tighten intentionally, wrists stay aligned, arms become levers. Energy transfers efficiently, waste eliminated. No excuse, no retreat. Consistency builds armor. Armor protects resolve.
Sets accumulate quietly, sweat confirms effort. Fatigue spreads evenly, technique remains untouched. Standards remain absolute. Fatigue sends signals, the mind acknowledges, then overrides calmly. Command resumes control, execution continues uninterrupted. Movement moves out, breathing sinks perfectly. Timing sharpens, thought dissolves into action. Efficiency dominates effort. Stance refined, subtly grip corrects. Range recalibrates, energy loss removed. Performance optimized.
No excuse, no retreat. Strength is engineered, never accidental.
Weight increases incrementally, alignment remains precise. Core stabilizes instantly, control exceeds mass, authority over resistance. Deep inhale, brief pause, controlled exhale. Heart rate stabilizes, focus restored immediately. Silence thickens, awareness heightens, discomfort becomes familiar. Never overwhelming, always manageable. This discipline exits the gym. It enters daily resistance. Pressure feels lighter elsewhere, decision sharp and stress meets structure. Stopping remains an option, continuing is selected. Identity the forms under load, one repetition deeper.
No excuse, no retreat. Character is forged. Understood, bang, pressure.
Grip remains secure, rhythm remains. Fatigue stabilizes, technique remains locked. Conditioning proves itself. Inhale, steady. Exhale, measured. Movement
stays clean. Order defeats chaos. Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy intensifies. Completion is secondary, execution defines success. Standards never drop, walls stay unchanged, equipment remains silent. Only internal systems evolve. Progress embeds quiet, without witnesses. Feet come from placement, hands secure, grip, breath locks rhythm. Deviation eliminated, final phase engaged. No excuse, no retreat. Effort builds structure, no retreat. Effort builds structure, no retreat. Effort builds structure. Last repetitions remain strict. Range stays complete. No collapse permitted. No rush allowed. Control finishes everything. Weight returns to rest. Hands open slowly. Breathing normalizes. No celebration needed. Completion remains internal. No excuse. The room looks the same. The body does not. Strength installed quietly. Discipline reinforced.
Rhythm, no rush, only preparation. Feet planted with intention, waist centered and balanced. Core engages naturally, spinal lines vertically structured. Accepts low foundation secure, outside sound collapses. Vision arrows forward, thoughts simplify. Only motion suffice, only execution matters.
No excuse. No delay. Pressure creates strength. Strength creates control.
Resistance introduces reality, no negotiation, allow muscle responds. Honestly, form remains strict, control defines authority. Nothing wasted, inhale through effort, exhale through completion. Heart rate climbs steadily, no panic, only regulation. Each repetition identical, depth remains constant. Tempo stays intentional, momentum denied, precision rewarded. Hands closed with purpose, wrists aligned, clean arms act as structure. Energy transfers efficiently, late cage eliminated, no excuse.
No delay. Consistency builds armor. Armor sustains progress.
Sets accumulate, silently sweat confirms. Effort fatigue spreads evenly. Technique remains untouched. Standards stay absolute. Muscles request relief. Mind acknowledges signal. Command overrides. Calmly movement continues uninterrupted. Control reasserted. Breathing sinks naturally. Movement becomes efficient. Timing sharpens. Thought dissolves into action. The system runs itself. Stance adjusts. Slightly grip refines. Range recalibrates. Energy loss removed. Performance optimized.
No excuse. No delay. Strength is engineered, never accidental.
Weight increases deliberately, alignment remains precise. Core stabilizes instantly, control exceeds resistance. Authority maintained, deep inhale, breathe, pause, controlled exhale. Heart rate stabilizes, focus restored. Silence thickens, awareness heightens. Discomfort becomes familiar, never overwhelming, always manageable. This discipline leaves the room, it enters daily resistance. Stress feels lighter elsewhere, decisions sharpen, confidence compounds. Stopping remains possible, continuing is chosen. Entity forms under load. One repetition deeper, no excuse, no delay. Character is forged under sustained effort. Grip remains secure, breathing remains relic. Fatigue stabilizes, technique stay locked. Conditioning prove itself. Inhale steady, exhale measured. Movement stays clean, order defeats chaos. Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy increases. Completion is secondary, execution defines success. Standards never fall.
Walls remain unchanged. Equipment stays silent. Only internal systems evolve. Progress and bends quiet, without witnesses. Keeping firm placement, hand secure grip. Breath locks rhythm. Deviation eliminated. Final phase engaged. No excuse. No delay. build structure. Structure sustains power, less repetitions remain strict. Range stays complete, no collapse permitted, no rush allowed. Control finishes everything. We return to rest, hands open, slowly breathing normalizes. No celebrating, quiet completion is internal. The room looks identical, the body does not. Strengthen, stall, quality, discipline, reinforce. The engine stays ready. No excuse, no delay. Session complete. Yeah.
To the floor, balance confirmed, core tightens naturally, spine stacks clean, the frame accepts purpose, foundation established, peripheral noise dissolves, focus compresses forward, only the next action exists, everything unnecessary fades.
No excuse, no delay.
Pressure creates order. Order creates power.
Resistance breeds honesty, no shortcuts allowed. Muscle answers directly, forming forces. Truth control defines dominance. Inhale through effort, exhale through completion. Heart rate rises, mind stays calm, system stable. Each movement identical, depth respected. Tempo controlled, but movement denied entry. Precision rewarded repeatedly, hands secure intent. Wrists align naturally, arms transmit force sufficiently. Energy loss eliminated.
No excuse, no delay.
Consistency builds capacity. Capacity builds strength. Sets that quietly, sweat confirms commitment. Fatigue spreads evenly, technique remains untouched.
Standards never bend. Muscles request surrender. The mind receives the message. Acknowledgement without compliance. Motion continues uninterrupted.
Breath synchronizes movement, refine itself. Timing sharpens instinctively, thinking dissolves. Execution remains, stance recalibrates. Grip tightens precisely, range corrected, efficiency optimized.
No excuse, no delay.
Strength is constructed, never accidental. Accidental.
Weight increases deliberately, alignment remains strict. Core stabilizes instantly, control surpasses resistance. Deep inhale, brief, hold controlled, exhale. Heart rate steadies, focus restored. Silence thickens awareness, sharpens discomfort, becomes familiar. Never overwhelming, always navigable. This discipline exits the room, it enters daily resistance. Stress feels lighter elsewhere, decision sharpened. Confidence compounds quietly, stopping remains an option. Continuing is a decision, identity forms under load. One repetition deeper.
No excuse, no delay.
Factory forward, under sustained effort. Grip remains locked, breathing remains, and fatigue stabilizes. Technique stays, absolute conditioning proves itself. Inhale steady, exhale measured, movement clean. Order defeats chaos, chaos.
Speed and speedious attentionally. Accuracy increase, completion secondary. Execution define success.
Roles remain unchanged, equipment stays silent. Only internal systems is evolved, progress embeds unnoticed.
Feet, cover, placement, hands secure, grip, blocks. Within them division, imminent, the final phase engaged.
No excuse, no delay.
No excuse, no delay. Effort builds, structure sustains. Power.
Last repetition remains strict. Range stays complete. No collapse permitted, no rush allowed. Control finishes everything. Weight returns to rest. Hands open, slowly breathing normalizes. No celebration, quiet. Completion is internal. The room looks the same. The body does not. Strength installed, quality, discipline reinforced. The system remains ready. No excuse, no delay.
Session complete. Session complete. Session complete. Hey.
No hesitation, no retreat. Effort defines direction, direction defines outcome.
Resistance introduces itself honest and unfiltered. Muscle responds clean, form corrects automatically. Control becomes authority. Inhale through tension, exhale through completion. Heart rate climbs steadily, mind remains neutral, system stable. Each rep mirrors the last step, respected fully. Tempo remains deliberate, momentum denied access. Precision accumulates, hands secure commitment. Wrists align efficiently, arms transmit force clean. Energy loss eliminated.
No hesitation,
No retreat. Consistency compounds power compounds my belief. Sets layer quietly, sweat verifies effort. Fatigue spreads evenly, technique remains intact. Standards never drop, signals request surrender. The request
Request is acknowledged, not accepted. Movement continues unchanged. Breathing synchronizes, timing sharpens naturally. Motion refines itself, thinking fades, execution remains. Stance adjusts slightly, grip tightens precisely. Range recalibrated, efficiency optimized. No hesitation, no restriction, no retreat. No, strength is engineered, never accidental. Resistance escalates, alignment remains strict. Core stabilizes instantly, control overrides. Weight, deep inhale, brief suspension, controlled exhale. Heart rate stabilizes, focus restored. Silence thickens, awareness sharpens. Discomfort becomes familiar, never overwhelming, always manageable. This discipline extends outward, stress elsewhere weakens. Decisions gain clarity, confidence accumulates quietly. Stopping remains possible, continuing is chosen. Identity shapes under resistance, one repetition deeper. No hesitation, no hesitation, no retreat. Character is constructed under sustained pressure, but remains locked. Breathe remains breathing. Fatigue stabilizes technique, dominant sensation. Conditioning proves itself. Inhale steady, exhale measured. Movement clean, order defeats chaos. Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy increases, completion is secondary, execution defines success. Walls stay unchanged, equipment remains silent, only internal systems evolve, progress embeds unnoticed. Feet confirm placement, hands secure grip, breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminated, final phase engaged. No hesitation, no retreat. Effort builds structure, structure sustains power. Last repetitions remain strict, range stays complete. No collide, no rush permitted. Control finishes everything. Weight returns to rest. Hands open slowly, breathing normalizes. No celebration quiet. Completion is internal. The room remains unchanged. The body does not. Strength installed silently. Discipline reinforced. System ready again. No hesitation. Feet connect to ground, balance establishes authority. Spine aligns naturally, core engages without thought. Structure precedes force, external noise fades. Internal signal strengthens, only repetition matters. Everything else loses value. No pause, no escape. Pressure defines progress, progress defines identity.
Weight introduces honesty, no exaggeration, no mercy. Form adapts instantly, control replaces doubt. Inhale measured, exhale controlled. Heart rate increases steadily. Mind remains neutral, system stable. Yeah, each movement mirrors discipline. Range stays complete, tempo remains clean. No momentum is denied, accuracy compounds. Hands locked in tension, wrists aligned precisely. Arms transmit power efficiently, energy loss eliminated.
No pause, no escape. Consistency builds strength, builds resolve.
Sets that quietly, sweat validates effort. Fatigue distributes evenly, technique remains dominant, standards remain fixed.
The body suggests limits. The suggestion is heard. Now follow, motion continues unchanged.
Breathing synchronizes, timing sharpens, movement becomes instinct, thought dissolves, execution remains.
Stance refined slightly, grip tightens precisely.
Range recalibrated, efficiency optimized.
No pause, no escape, consistency crow strict.
Never accidental, resistance increases, alignment remains strict. Core stabilizes, instantly control overrides mass. Deep inhale, brief, hold controlled exhale. Heart rate stabilizes, focus restored. Silence thickens, awareness sharpens, discomfort becomes familiar. Never overwhelming, always manageable. This discipline spreads out with stress elsewhere weakens. Decisions gain clarity, confidence accumulates quietly. Stopping is available, continuing is chosen. Identity forms under load, one repetition deeper.
No pause, no escape. Character is forged under sustained pressure.
Grip remains firm, breath remains thin. Fatigue stabilizes, technique dominant, sensation conditioning proves itself. Inhale steady, exhale measured, movement clean, order defeats chaos.
Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy increases. Completion is secondary, execution defines success. Walls remain unchanged, equipment stays silent. Only internal systems evolve, progress embeds unnoticed. Feet confirm placement, hand secure grip. Breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminated. Final phase engaged. No pause, no escape. Effort builds structure, structure sustains power. Last repetition, stay straight. Range remains complete. No collapse allowed, no rush permitted. Control finishes everything. Wait. Weight returns to rest. Hands open slowly, breathing normalizes. No sprint is trend required, completion is internal. The room remains unchanged, the body does not. Strength installed silently. Discipline reinforced. System ready again. No pause, no escape. Session complete. Session complete.
Only execution remains.
No idle, no delay. No delay. Momentum is maintained. Every second is purpose.
Resistance introduces truth, no exaggeration, no shortcuts. Muscles answer honestly, control overrides impulse.
Inhale regulated, exhale directed. Heart rate climbs efficiently, panic never appears. Each rep mirrors intention, range remains complete. Tempo stays deliberate, precision compounds strength. Transmit intent, wrists align perfectly. Arms deliver force directly, no energy leakage.
No delay. Consistency builds output. Output builds dominance.
Sets accumulate silently. Sweat validates effort, fatigue distributes evenly. Form never degrades, the body signals caution. The signal is noted, ignore without emotion. Move continues and change. Breath synchronizes with motion. Timing sharpens naturally. Thinking dissolve. Execution remains. Stance refined subtly. Grip tightens minimally. Efficiency increases quietly. System optimized.
No delay. Strength is engineered, never accidental.
Resistance escalates, alignment remains strict. Core stabilizes instantly, control governs mass. Deep inhale, brief suspension. Control release, focus recalibrated. Discomfort becomes familiar, not threatening, not overwhelming. Just information used productively. This discipline migrates outward. Stress elsewhere loses power. Confidence solidifies silently. Clarity improves everywhere. Stopping remains available. Continuing is selected. Identity reinforces itself through repetition.
No delay. Character is constructed under sustained demand.
Grip holds firm, rougher ramming, tragic stabilizes technique. Dormant sensation, inhale steady, exhale measured, movement clean. Order sustained. Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy increases. Completion is secondary, execution defines success. The room stays static, equipment remains silent. Only the system evolves, progress embeds unnoticed. Feet confirm placement, hands secure grip. Breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminated.
No delay. Effort becomes structure. Structure sustains power.
Every three, weight returns to rest. Hands open slowly, breathing normalizes, no celebration quiet. The space remains unchanged. The system does not. Strength installed silently. discipline reinforced. Engine ready again. No delay, session complete. And
align with intent, spine stacks clean, core tightens automatically, balance stabilizes instantly, the foundation locks in, peripheral noise fades, vision narrows, attention sharpens, only movement matters. Built underway, strength earned honestly, nothing borrowed, nothing imagined. The load introduces reality, grip secures firmly, arms transmit force, the body responds accurately, no excess motion. Inhale deliberate, exhale measured, heart rate elevates efficiently, control is maintained, each repetition mirrors the last, tempo remains, discipline range stays complete, precision compounds power. Knees track correctly, hips remain neutral, core resists collapse, structure holds firm. Built underway, consistency shapes endurance, endurance defines capacity, capacity defines output.
sets accumulate methodically, sweat confirms engagement, fatigue distributes evenly, form never degrades. Discomfort is observed, not dramatized, not avoided, information processed calmly.
Movement aligns with breath, timing becomes instinctive, thought dissolves, execution continues alone. Grip tightens slightly, stance adjusts subtly, efficiency increases silently, waste eliminated. Built underway, pressure creates alignment, alignment creates reliability, reliability, resistance escalates deliberately, core stabilizes instantly, posture remains unchanged, control overrides mass. Deep inhale, brief hold, slow release, focus restore. Burn becomes familiar, not threatening, not overwhelming, merely a signal handled calmly. Discipline migrates outward, daily stress weakens. Confidence stabilizes, clarity sharpens, stopping remains possible, continuation is chosen, identity reinforces itself through repetition. Built underway, character forged quietly, strength learned, behavior repeated relentlessly, grip remains secure, breath remains secure, breath remains beat, fatigue plateaus, technique dominates sensation. Inhale steady, exhale control, movement precise, order sustain, speed adjust intentionally, accuracy increases, completion irrelevant, execution defines success. The room stays unchanged, equipment remains still, only the system evolves. Progress embeds silently, feet confirm placement, hands secure grip, breath locks rhythm, deviation removed. Built underway, built underway. Effort becomes structure, structure sustains strength, sustained identity. Last repetitions remain strict, range uncompromised, no collapse permitted, control finishes everything. Weight returns to rest, hands open slowly, breathing normalizes, no celebration quiet. The space looks identical, the system does not. Strength installed silently, discipline reinforced, ready again. Build underway, session complete, end. Pressure refines structure, structure supports output, output confirms readiness, hands meet resistance, grip calibrates instantly, tension spreads evenly, the body accepts the task, inhale prepares effort,
exhale executes false rhythm, establishes control, control governs intensity, each repetition mirrors the last, tempo remains intentional, range stays
is uncompromised. Efficiency overrides urgency. Knees track clean, hips stabilize, force core maintains rigidity, balance remains in force.
Built under load, stress becomes instruction, instruction becomes correction, correction becomes strength.
Sets accumulate quietly, sweat confirms engagement. Fatigue spreads evenly, no single weakness dominates. Burn is data, pain is information. Neither dictates behavior, response remains calculated. Movement and breath merge, timing becomes instinct. Conscious thought disengages, execution sustains itself. Grip pressure fine tunes, foot angle refines. Energy waste disappears, output increases subtly.
Built under load,
Resistance shapes efficiency, efficiency extends endurance, endurance stabilizes power, weight escalates deliberately, stabilizers react immediately, posture remains unchanged, control dominates mass, deep inhale, brief hold, controlled release, leave.
system recalibrated. Muscle signal depletion, signals are acknowledged. Not dramatized, movement continues regardless. Discipline transfers outward, stress tolerance expands. Confidence stabilizes internally. Clarity sharpens globally. Stopping remains optional. Continuation is chosen. Identity reinforces itself. Built under load, strength is trained behavior. Behavior becomes habit, habit becomes identity.
Grip integrity sustained, breathing rhythm preserved, fatigue plateaus, technique dominates, sensation inhale, measured, exhale, controlled, motion precise, order maintained, speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy improves steadily, completion is secondary, execution defines success.
The room remains static, equipment stays silent, only the system evolves, progress embeds unseen.
Be confirmed placement, and secure grip, locks rhythm, deviation eliminated.
Built under load, effort forms architecture. Architecture sustained force, force defines capability.
Last repetition stays strict, range of compromise, no collapse permitted, control concludes a set. Weight turns to rest, hands open, gradually breathing normalizes, no celebration required.
The environment looks identical. The system is not capacity expanded silently. Discipline reinforced. Ready for repetition, built under load, session complete. Pressure without noise, effort without display, work without validation, results remain inevitable. Hands meet resistance, grip tightens deliberately, muscles respond on command. The low feels honest, no deception present. Inhale through preparation, exhale through execution. Breath stabilizes movement, movement reinforces control. Every repetition identical, tempo remains discipline, range never compromised. While mem stays excluded, precision leads the sequence. Knees align naturally, hips transfer force, core remains unbroken, balance holds without effort, pressure without noise. Stress becomes instruction, instruction sharpens output, output proves readiness. Set stack quietly, sweat confirms commitment, fatigue distributes evenly, no single muscle dominates, the system works as one. Burn equals information, fatigue equals data, neither demands retreat, both guide adjustment. Breath and motion synchronized, thought steps aside, instinct governs timing, execution becomes continuous. Grip pressure refines, foot angle adjusts subtly, energy lost disappears, efficiency increases silently. Pressure without noise, efficiency extends endurance, endurance stabilizes strength, strength sustains performance, weight increases deliberately, posture remains unchanged, stabilizes engage instantly, control outpaces mass. Inhale slow and deep, brief internal pause, exhale with intent,
system recalibrated. Muscle signal depletion, signals acknowledge calmly. No panic introduced, movement continues under control. Discipline migrates inward, tolerance expands outward. Confidence stabilizes quietly, focus sharpens further. Stopping remains optional, continuation is selected. Identity reinforce itself through repetition alone. Pressure without noise, consistency builds authority. Authority builds capacity. Capacity defines outcome. Grip, integrity, sustain, breathing rhythm, preserve. Fatigue plateaus evenly, technique dominates sensation. Inhale measured, exhale controlled, motion exact, order preserved. Speed adjusts intentionally, accuracy remains dominant. Completion is secondary, execution defines success. Walls remain unchanged, equipment stays motionless. Only the system evolves, progress embeds unseen. Feet confirm placement, hands secure grip. Breath locks rhythm, deviation eliminated. Pressure without noise, effort shapes structure. Structure sustains force, force confirms capability. Last repetitions remain strict, range uncompromised. No collapse permitted, control concludes the sequence. Weight returns to rest, hands open gradually. Breathing normalizes, no celebration required. The room appears unchanged, the system is not capacity expanded quietly. Discipline reinforced, ready for repetition. Pressure without noise. Pressure without noise. Pressure without noise. Pressure without noise. No signal lights, no external command. The switch flips internally. Muscle memory wakes first. The system comes online. Circulation accelerates, tendons stretch with patience. Breath moves deep and steady. The body prepares without drama. Nothing wasted.
Feet press into the ground. Balance distributes evenly, spinal lines without force. Shoulders settle into function, the structure accepts load. Distractions lose relevance. Noise dissolves into silence. Only movement remains visible. Only precision remains valuable.
There is no exit from effort, no shortcut through pressure. The work demands presence, and presence demands repetition.
Hands close around resistance, grip tightens with intention. The weight responds honestly, no negotiation offered, only execution accepted.
Inhale for commitment, exhale through exertion. Breath stabilizes motion, motion reinforces control. Every repetition mirrors the last. Tempo stays uncompromised, range remains complete. Momentum stays excluded, form dictates authority. Knees track, clean lines, hips transfer power efficiently. Core remains uninterrupted, stability dominates sensation.
There is no exit from effort. Fatigue becomes instruction. Instruction sharpens output. Output defines progress.
Sets accumulate quietly. Sweat marks consistency. Muscles share responsibility, no single point collapses. The system holds.
Burn communicates limits, tension provides feedback. Neither demand surrender, both demand adjustment. Movement and breath synchronized, thought recedes in the background. Instinct guides timing, execution continues on an grip pressure. Recalibrates for placement, refines subtly. Energy loss disappears, efficiency replaces strain.
There is no exit from effort. Efficiency extends endurance. Endurance stabilizes. Strength sustains performance.
Resistance escalates deliberately.
Posture remains unchanged. Stabilizers engage instantly. Control outpaces mass. Inhale slow and deep. Brief internal pause. Exhale with resolve. System recalibrate. Muscle signal depletion. Signals acknowledge calmly. No panic. Introduce movement. Continues under discipline.
Discomfort becomes familiar. Tolerance expands quietly. Comfort and stabilizes inward. Focus sharpens further.
Stopping remains possible. Continuation is chosen. Identity reinforces itself through action alone.
There is no exit from effort. Consistency builds authority. Authority builds capacity. Capacity defines outcome.
Grip integrity sustained, breathing rhythm preserved. Fatigue plateaus evenly, technique overrides. Sensation inhale, measured. Exhale, controlled. Motion exact, order preserved. Speed adjusts intentionally. Accuracy remains dominant. Completion is secondary. Execution remains primary. Walls stay immoved. Equipment remains still. Only the system evolve. Progress embeds unseen.
Reconfirm position. Hand secure contact. Breath locks. Rhythm deviation eliminated.
There is no exit from effort. Work shape structure. Structure sustains force. Force confirms readiness.
Last repetitions remain strict. Range uncompromised. No collapse permitted. Control concludes the sequence. Wait, return to rest. Hands open slowly. Breathing normalizes. No celebration quiet. The room appears unchanged. The system is not. Capacity expanded silently. This sip